Hello, good morning. It is 9 a.m. on the West Coast in Los Angeles. Good morning, good morning. I am so excited to kick off this Facebook Live series. My name is Dana Bakich, and I am the CEO and founder of Positive Equation. And I just love working with nonprofits on helping them create impactful digital strategies and really cultivate an audience online of passionate donors, advocates, volunteers, and business partnerships. And so this whole concept really started over the weekend, and today is Wednesday. So I'm so excited for the next few weeks, and this will continue going until guests stop asking to be a part of it, and we'll see how it goes. But essentially, I jumped on a Facebook group. If you're a part of one, you know what I mean by everybody's coming together in communities on Facebook these days. And I just asked a simple question of, would it be helpful to kind of bring together digital marketing experts and nonprofits to talk about what in the world they're doing, how they're pivoting, how they're innovating digitally right now during COVID-19. So I hope you're watching this with either a cup of coffee or on your East Coast if you're having lunch. And this is going to be a really casual conversation. I want these to be real. Please tell me in the comments if you've joined a webinar recently, because I think we've all joined a bazillion Zoom webinars. So I want these to kind of stand out and be truly time for you to ask questions. I'm bringing on some guests that have incredible stories and experiences, and this is the time for us to learn together, to brainstorm, to think of new ideas. So this week, I have Jennifer Cummings from Surfari Pals. Jennifer was somebody that was in that Facebook group when I was asking, would somebody want to be a guest? And she raised her hand, and I was like, let's chat. So Jennifer and her husband, Kip, started Surfari Pals in around 2015, 2016, and talk about an organization that's completely had to pivot. They normally are in schools, right? They're normally in schools teaching kids personal skills for them to excel now and in the future. So they teach them skills such as how to set goals, use basic manners, social etiquette, how to serve those around them. I think all of our kids need these things, which is all surrounding character development. And they've created this really fun way, and I'll let Jennifer speak more to that. But I was so surprised by the feedback. So this week is Jennifer, and I'll bring her on in a second to talk about her organization in Louisiana. And then next week, I have Jenny Flack from Fundraise. If you're familiar, it's a CRM platform that allows you to do peer-to-peer fundraising. They've even put up a platform right now where you can live stream and you can brand your organization all around it and fundraise a virtual event. So I'll have Jenny on. And then the following week, on every time it's going to be on Wednesdays at the same time. But the following week, I have Caitlin from Movember. So if you're familiar with Movember, Mo Bros and Mo Sisters, I worked with them for the past 3 years, and I'm really excited to share what they're doing right now to reach people all throughout their community. And then the week after that, I will have Lisa Bechtold from Take Stock in Children, the organization that I worked for over 10 years ago. So without further ado, I want to bring Jennifer on. Yes, Jim, I love it. Adults could use those skills. Man, they sure could. All right, Jen, let's go ahead and bring you on. Hi.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. Well, good semi-morning your time?
Well, we're still just before noon, so yeah, still good morning.
Still good morning. So yeah. I love your setup. Where are you right now?
I am actually in our curriculum room, and it's the most soundproof room in the office. So what you're seeing behind me are some of our books that we have for the kids to learn out of.
Amazing. Well, with that, there's so much to dive into. And thank you for volunteering to be the first live guest.
Actually, when you said that, I popped up my hand because I was looking for things I was like, help, I need help. And when you offered today's date, I was like, yes, I want that one, because, you know, we have this huge fundraising thing coming up Tuesday, and I thought it would be a good time to talk about how we completely changed the way we're doing that fundraiser on Tuesday. So
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And what's so great, you guys, so this platform we're on right now, part of this whole thing is I want everyone to learn kind of how it works. So this is called StreamYard. And beforehand, Jennifer and I were talking, and she watched a previous video that I had done with it, and you used it.
I did. I was just checking out your website and trying to do some background on your business and what you were trying to accomplish. And when I saw the is it StreamYard? Yes.
Yeah.
What is that? That looks really cool. Because I was like, she's got words down there, and this banner popped up and all that stuff. And so I was checking it out, and we were actually doing a live last night.
Yeah.
And so it took me about an hour to figure out how to use it. So easy, and you can preset things you want to pop up on the screen, and so it was really fun. It's a good
program.
love
it. Your live was awesome.
Thank you. I always get so nervous because I'm a country girl from the woods of East Texas, and I was like, I always sound like such a hick, and I was like, but
no, and then I'm over here.
But you are so. Okay.
I love it though. It's authentic and true to you. And I wish I had an awesome accent. I know I do to some people, but anyways, Jennifer, tell us all about Surfari Pals.
Surfari Pals is a character development program for elementary age children. And like you alluded to before you brought me on, we teach skills that enhance the whole child, and skills such as etiquette, proper etiquette. I remember the first time I went somewhere and there were 2 forks. I was like, oh my gosh, I have no clue what to do. So we teach how to set the table, etiquette. We teach kids how to be good citizens in their school, their community, in their home. We teach children to be good stewards of their environment. But we also teach basic manners. And being from the South, please, thank you, yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am. Very, very important. Our lessons are individual. So our really great friends in the North don't necessarily do the whole yes ma'am no ma'am thing, and that's okay, because that's what's proper for your region. And so you just skip that one if you're from Seattle and Washington area. But we teach social and emotional skills, and we go into low income schools and try to build true self-confidence in the kids so that spills over into their school and their everyday life.
I love it. Thank you. And I mean, my mom's a teacher and my best friend is a teacher, both in Sarasota, Florida. So although Florida is the South, I don't really consider Sarasota the South. But obviously, yeah, it's a huge pivot you guys are having to go through. I mean, talk about change. You're used to being in the classrooms.
Right.
So back up to March, right? How did you, when this all first started, how did you guys change up your programming?
We changed almost everything. I mean, your mom and your best friend will attest to this. Now suddenly we're still expected to be there for the kids and teach the kids and make sure that the kids are still learning, but you're not in front of them, and they didn't have their books. And so what we had to do is go right along with the schools and figure out how to get everything online digitally, how we were going to teach. Had to dive right into Google Classroom, figure out how that works, get it set up, get the links over to, we went in under the library curriculum. And so the librarians would share our links, and YouTube videos, Facebook Lives. We teach 4th and 5th grade at some of the schools here in Shreveport, and for some reason they have Instagram accounts, a lot of the kids. I'm not sure why, but so we started, interacting with them on Instagram and doing lives. Private Instagram things with them, and lives on Instagram. So We did have to shift. Zoom, teaching on Zoom is something that we've had to jump into doing. So just adapt and adapt quickly.
That's amazing. And what kind of like response have you seen from that?
It's been good. Learning to get on Zoom actually was better than I thought it was going to be, because now we have organizations that house homeless children who we are able to, since those kids aren't in school either, and they're having to shelter in place at shelters.
Yeah.
We are going in and teaching Zoom in one of the homeless shelters here in Shreveport as well.
Wow.
They're living there, yes. And they weren't even kids that were in some of the schools that we were in. So it's like we're reaching out to even more children because we jumped on Zoom, and so that's just been really
That's
cool.
amazing.
I know.
That's so cool. And I love how, so I just saw you've been launching a Facebook Live series every night, right? You just started last night, right?
Yes. Tuesday through Friday this week, and then it'll be all day Tuesday next week.
Okay, so the purpose, talk a little bit about why you're doing that, and talk about, you've also strategically thought about each day specific things you're going to talk about. Oh, did I lose you for a second? I think you're back.
We had some bad storms here last night, so I tested the internet and it said it was good, but yeah, sorry.
You're fine. This is called technology, guys.
Yeah. We have a lot of people without electricity here in the Shreveport-ish area today. So,
well, and you know what? That's a whole conversation in itself, where these kids. I have a friend actually in New Orleans. She runs a school called Laureate Academy, if you're familiar. And they had to figure out, how are we going to get computers and internet access to some of these kids who don't have it at home. So that's a whole other part of this, is these kids don't necessarily have internet connectivity at their house or computers. And so the schools had to figure out a way to provide those resources to them.
Okay. I'm afraid I missed most of that.
That's okay. I was just talking about how some of the kids don't have connectivity if they're at poverty level or don't have internet. So that's a whole other problem to try and solve in the middle of all this, is making sure they have the access to be able to even get online.
Right.
So let me
and the majority of the kids.
Oh, you're good. Go ahead.
I was saying that the majority of the kids in the low-income schools where we teach do not have access to internet, and that is one of the hardest challenges of having to move online quickly.
Yeah. So let me circle back to, so your Facebook Lives every night are themed with a specific message. So can you run through those?
So the last night we talked about our school program overall goals, and we had talked about how we've been kind of kicking around this digital curriculum idea, but I am a libraryaholic. I love books. I'm like, I have to hold something.
Yeah.
And so there's just something about paper and learning from books for me. But this is 2020, and so we had been kicking that around, and I was like, I don't know. But now I'm like, yeah, we have to do this. We have to jump on board. And we had several teachers on our live last night that were saying, yes, we're so glad you're going digital, because we can, that's just the way the schools are going now. And so this has kind of forced me to accept that as a reality and jump on with it. So that's what we were talking about last night, our goals for our curriculum in the future. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Camp Surfari. This summer, we were planning on having our first ever half-day day camp every week in July, where kids can come in and just hands-on, have fun, learn all kinds of etiquette, manners, and things like that. Thursday night, we're talking about Surfari salsa, and no, not the dancing kind. So my husband.
Yeah. Tell me all about this salsa idea, because I think it's so fun. And then I guess that goes into, give us a little bit of background too on the Give for Good event.
Yes. So we're having a Give for Good on Tuesday, which is an online giving platform through the Community Foundation here in North Louisiana. And we do it every Tuesday. I think it's the first Tuesday of the month of May every year. But it has a very physical component to it, where we are always, people have these pop-up parties and these meet and greets and things. Well, that all completely ended. And so we were trying to create these different ways for people to still be able to see us while practicing social distancing and safety and, things like that. So my husband has this salsa recipe, and we have all of our friends and family addicted to it. And so we are going to have a drive-through salsa shack, kind of a party on Tuesday. So what we're doing is we're going to set up in the parking lot under a tent here at our office, and people can just drive through, and we'll be doing lives all day, tasting the salsa, making the salsa, people come in to get the salsa. So if you're in the Shreveport-Bossier area, you can just drive through, pick up a cup of salsa. We'll still be doing our online things all day long with the Give for Good. But on the cup of the salsa, I will have stickers with, a QR code and more information about Surfari Pals. And so you can take your salsa, and while you go and eat your salsa, you can be, looking up the information about Surfari Pals and direct link straight to our giving page on Tuesday.
I love it. It's so fun, creative. It's true to you guys. And I think that's a really important theme of what's happening right now, is that people have to be honest about where they're at.
Yeah.
Be speaking truly to yourselves. Let your personalities really show through. I think that's why brands people want to be friends with brands.
Right.
So if they can understand the personality and the people and the meaning behind something bigger than just a logo that you see, then they're more about like, this is amazing, right? Like, you're trying to put something out there to say like, hey, we're here. We know we can't like hug you right now, right? But here's what from our home to yours, right? A little thank you. And I think that's so creative and fun and such a smart idea. I love it.
Thank you.
For the challenge, do you guys have a fundraising goal you're trying to hit?
We do. We have a $2,000 goal. That was pre-COVID-19, where we specifically that's what we were looking for camp support. But being a non-essential,
I'll stop you right there. All nonprofits are essential. There is a misnomer, and I think businesses are not saying, please don't purchase our product.
Yeah.
Right? Nonprofits, like, you are shaping the next generation of humanity.
Right. But it's really hard because you have so many medical needs and food needs and basic life needs right now. I really did struggle with that, with, continuing with the fundraising and things. And then I had one of my board members say to me, Jennifer, if kids ever need a well-rounded social or emotional basket full of character building things to pull from, it's now.
Yeah.
And that just really hit home with me. And I was like, okay. So that kind of encouraged me to, let's keep going. And so we are going to, $2,000 was our initial goal. But I got to looking on our Facebook page. We have over 1,200 followers right now. And we have set our lowest giving amount at $10. And if we have all of our donors give us, or all of our Facebook followers give us $10. That is going to be huge in launching us forward with this new digital and this online platform. Because now that we're having to shift and go digital and, teaching videos, training videos, digital curriculum.
Yeah.
I wasn't, thinking and planning financially for that this year, but now that's happening. And so I think that I just really want to challenge. I'm going to try really hard to challenge every single one of our Facebook followers to pledge $10, and that will go a long way into launching this out there into the digital world.
Totally.
And in a professional way, and be ready when school starts again.
Yes. So I think 2 points. One, there's been all this talk about the second wave or second pandemic is mental health after this.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So the importance of what you're teaching kids to try and make that not happen and have them be okay, right, is so important. So I totally agree with your director, the board of directors that said that to you. And then secondly, I think with your ask is spot on. Something that's really crucial during this time is organizations that are asking for a very curated, specific ask are seeing success. So if you're saying $10 will help us accomplish X, and if 1,000 people give $10, that helps us accomplish this. Like, as concrete as you can be about where those dollars go is so important in messaging. And then people can also then visualize, be like, oh, I totally can see that.
Right.
That's something that makes sense to me. Instead of a lot of nonprofits will just ask for a blanketed donate to us. And then I'm kind of like, to do like, what do you need right now?
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's another thing is, with so many people being without jobs right now and the future being so uncertain, I felt was starting, I was feeling a little guilty about asking, but I mean, $10, I think $10 is a good, doable, fair thing to ask for.
Yeah. And you know what, like the people who can will, you know, and right now what's happening is giving. Yeah, give what you can. Giving is up. If you actually look back to, and I was just speaking with CoinUp is a client of mine, they're a roundup app. March of Dimes, way back in the day, started by change.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pennies on the dollar, right? And all this change came together, and now look at what March of Dimes is. So it doesn't matter if you have $1, $10, $100, like every little bit helps. So I know we kind of already talked about your needs a little bit. Have you spoken to nonprofits in your area and kind of what they're feeling? Do they have a similar mindset around donations and the ask? Have you talked to anybody else or that's going to be participating in this community challenge?
I have, but the nonprofit executives that I'm closest with are basic needs type organizations. And so I think their challenges are a little bit different, and people are definitely, our community has been here in Shreveport has been overwhelmingly supportive of our community, our doctors, nurses, hospitals, our excuse me, our homeless shelters. It has just been mind-blowing, the generosity that is just flowing through our streets. And so I haven't really spoken with a nonprofit that is just kind of wait and see what happens. It's kind of at a dead still.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, Jennifer, take a sip of water.
Sorry.
No, you're all good.
It's pollen and allergies year round in the South. And just about time the pollen goes away, the mold creeps up. So,
Oh, geez. You're like, you can't escape it.
No.
Well, tell people, thank you so much for joining. Where can they find you? Social, online? How can they reach out to you? And what's the best way for them to support you coming up next week?
The best way to support us next week is to go to Give for Good, GiveForGoodNLA.org.
I'm going to type it up right now. GiveForGoodLA.org. Right on
there. NLA/Surfari Pals.
Right, I'm going to put it in the comments right now.
We also have that address plastered all over our Facebook page. So, Surfari Pals is SURF, like surfing. SURF. I'll put my glasses and see if that's all good. What you've just typed down there. NLA.org. Surfari Pals. That's it.
Boom.
And yeah, and pre-registration for pre-scheduled giving is happening right now, but it won't hit or take place. It won't charge a card until the 5th. Okay. So as many people as we can have out there to throw $10 into that Surfari Pals account, that would be amazing.
I love it.
And like us and follow us on Facebook and interact with us and on Instagram.
Because your goal is also for people who this program is, you're trying to expand all over the country.
Yes, right? Absolutely. My husband has a saying, coast to coast and border to border. That's how far he wants to go with Surfari Pals. So, and this, adapting into this digital thing a lot faster than we thought is just really going to facilitate that and just springboard that.
Yeah, I think this time is really interesting because it might, like you're saying, springboard, it might be something that you weren't thinking about that expansion for a little while, but it might really propel you into doing that a lot faster.
Right. And we always say is when it comes to setting goals, when life throws you a curve or a business throws you a curve, you can't adjust and, figure out plan B if you never had a plan A. And that was on our long-term goal thing, but it was already there. And so I think if we had to completely start over with any kind of thinking toward, digital or things like that, it would have been a lot harder to just adjust and jump on board. So long-term goal planning is crucial. You should always have a short-term goal, medium range goal, and a long-term range goal that you're always working on.
Love it. Awesome. With that, Jennifer, thank you so much for joining us. I am excited to watch all the salsas be made and jump on your Facebook Live.
I'm excited to, test and taste all that salsa. So
yes, me too. And hey, it's perfect because the very next day is Cinco de Mayo.
No, it is Cinco de Mayo.
The Tuesday is?
Yes, May 5th.
Wow, so much for me knowing my days of the week.
Okay. I think they've all run together. I've asked twice this week, what day is this? I don't know.
Okay, well, even better. Salsa on Cinco de Mayo?
Exactly.
That's amazing. I love it. Thank you, Jennifer, so much.
Thanks, Dana. Chat with you later.
Sounds good. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Now I'm craving salsa and it's 9:30 in the morning and I wish I was going to be in Louisiana to go through this drive-through. What an awesome idea. Please go to the website that's in the comments to support Jennifer and Kip at Surfari Pals. What amazing work they're doing. If you know teachers in the area, this is programming that they desperately want and need while their kids are learning from home. So incredible tools and curriculum, and go check out their website. They have these amazing characters that are all themed ocean to teach kids about these different topics and themes about character. So thank you for joining. And next week, join me right back here, 9 a.m. Pacific time, noon East Coast. And we'll be jumping on to talk with Jenny from Fundraise about really what she's seeing and hearing as far as giving, what's happening on the platform, some examples of organizations, some nonprofits that are doing really well, what their platform looks like, how you can use it for live streaming, and specifics about how to make giving really easy for your donors and work during this time. So thank you guys again for joining. Have a great rest of your morning and afternoon, and I'll see you next week.